So it appears that the Tyson Fury versus Wilder fight is going to be getting made. Now, are we sure that this fight is going to be made? Are we sure that Tyson Fury isn't going to bitch out? Are we sure that Wilder's not going to bitch out? Let's see. So, Daniel Weinstein, the arbitrator presiding over the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder rematch dispute, ruled Monday that Wilder is entitled to a third fight with Fury. Sources tell The Athletic's Mike Carpenter. The ruling, first reported by the Daily Star, ends an arbitration process that started in February. It included depositions from Fury and Wilder, along with executives from Top Rank and Premier Boxing Champions, Wilder's management group led by Al Heyman. The decision comes one day after Fury announced that a deal was struck for an undisputed heavyweight championship with Anthony Joshua on August 14th in Saudi Arabia, the biggest fight that can be made in all of boxing. So, the fight with Anthony Joshua is not going to happen because there's a contractual obligation that Tyson Fury has made that he's going to give Wilder a rematch. Why won't you be a man of your word and take the rematch? You already fought him, you beat him, but you beat him with circumstances that were very shady at best, very shady. So you need to make the fight, and you need to, and this time we're gonna make sure that there's nothing in your gloves. We're gonna make sure that you don't cheat for the third fight. But I mean, allegations. It's not 100% certain that Fury cheated in my eyes, but I still think that there are some circumstances surrounding that fight that make it seem a little bit suspicious. He stopped him, but I don't know, whatever. So rather than exercise the dispute resolution provision in the deal that triggered binding arbitration, so the Fury Joshua fight's not gonna happen. Well, the contract wasn't signed, so I guess it means that a fight can still happen. So they could still go ahead with the fight, but that would leave Fury liable for damages in an eventual lawsuit from Wilder. The best and most realistic way for Fury Joshua to proceed as planned, a massive step aside fee for Wilder. But Wilder needs to accept the step aside money, you know? So that means that if Wilder doesn't take the step aside money, then the fight has to happen with Fury for the third time. In the immediate aftermath of the ruling, it's hard to say. Fury and Joshua are hell-bent on fighting each other, and with good reason. They'll likely earn 9 figures apiece, and the winner will be vaulted into another stratosphere commercially. Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, who spearheaded the deal with Fury's management team, surely will do everything in his power to keep the fight going as planned. Eddie Hearn, he's Joshua's promoter. We all know that. He has been known to use shady tactics in the promoting world to promote fights and to make fights. He is the promoter of Dillian White, and he tried to make Dillian White fight Wilder so that Wilder could get the Joshua fight. And he was saying that the $50 million offer from Wilder wasn't real, and so many other things have been going on in the boxing world. Why do you think boxing is dying, and why do you think Jake Paul is being so notoriety, gaining so much notoriety? And why do you think Jake Paul is so famous now? And why do you think he's making so much money in the boxing world? Because these motherfuckers don't want to fight. How long? When's the last time Tyson Fury fought? When was his last fight? Wilder was his last fight, but let's see when go down. Keep going. When was his last fight? 22nd of February 2020. That's a year ago. That's a year and 2 months. That's a long time to not fight when you're an active world champion. Shouldn't you be defending your belt against the mandatory contenders? Interesting stuff. But you think he's gonna fight Anthony Joshua? He is gonna fight Anthony Joshua. But the problem is that the fucking fight with Wilder has to happen now. So it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, man. Wilder 3 has to happen. I mean, there is gonna be a trilogy fight because the arbitrator ruled in Deontay Wilder's favor. He's gonna have to honor the fight. I mean, there's really no other way to look at it. So, okay, but the thing is, Fury's already beat Wilder and knocked him out, supposedly, in a fair way. If it's so easy and Wilder's such a bum, why doesn't Fury just go in there and knock out Wilder again and then just fight Anthony Joshua a few months later? It's not that big of a deal. Just go in there and knock him out again. Go in there and just finish him off. Go in there and knock him out again if it's so easy and if it's so easy and simple. Why don't you just go in there and knock him out? Go in there and just knock him out. I mean, that's what you think. It's easy. You think he can never beat you. Why don't you go in there and knock him out, and then you can fight, and then you can fight Anthony Joshua to become undisputed, right? I mean, WBA, IBF, WBO, IBO. So this is gonna be for undisputed, but it's not gonna happen because Fury has to honor his contract. Why doesn't Fury be a man and fight Wilder? Because he did say that he would fight Wilder. That's that's the thing. If you say you're gonna fight somebody, you need to fight them. You can't just opt out of the fight and try and fight someone else. You have an obligation. You sign on the dotted line, and your honor is at stake right now. I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna be with Fury because he's white. You know, we always need a black villain, and Wilder's the black villain. We always need the big, black, scary, scary, scary. I know, I know, I know, I know. But Fury is forced to fight Wilder again. It is what it is. There's a contract that states that he has to fight Wilder. If it's so easy, get in there and knock him out. But we all know it's not that easy, is it? We all know it's not as easy as Fury thinks. Because this time, the gloves are going to be questioned. Everything is going to be questioned. Everything is going to be scrutinized. Everything is going to be done right down the middle. So, in the third fight, I think we might see a different Wilder. He's been training with, what's his name, Malik Scott. He's been training with Malik Scott. Okay, let's check out Wilder's Twitter. No, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. That fight already happened. That was like months ago. He has been training with Malik Scott. So, that's interesting. I mean, the jab looking pretty good. Nice jab. Overhand. Nice duck. Beautiful power. He's using a lot of movement too. Head movement. Throwing the jab. The jab is key here. So, as you can see, Wilder's getting better. I mean, if you throw a jab, you come up over the top with the right hand, that's going to increase the power of your right hand because you're befuddling your opponent. You're getting the right distance and timing on the person that you're throwing the right hand over. So I think Wilder can definitely win this third fight. Fury needs to give Wilder massive step aside money if he wants to fight Joshua. So, in my opinion, I think the fight with Joshua might happen, but Deontay Wilder has to agree to a massive step aside fee.